Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining on this beautiful Sunday. This is our last class teaching how to finish off and finish up our project here. I finally got the homework done, and we're ready to move forward. So in this last session here, where I'm just going to try to, there's really a lot to go over, but a lot of this stuff doesn't really require a lot of like technical approach. It's mostly just, you're just adding layers of paint, gluing things on, more paint, gluing things on, until you have the exact final end result. So, and of course the best reference for this is to just really get out into nature, and while you're hiking around in the woods, try to observe what makes it look so awesome, you know. Try to find out why, what's going on, you know. Break it down into simple things that you can observe. So the biggest thing I observe in nature is that there's just so much variety. Yeah, this should be live everywhere. Yeah, there's so much variety in nature that you can't just do one type of grass and it look natural. You know, in the natural world, there's like, you could take a 1 foot section and there should be probably like 6 or 7 different species of plant in that little 1 foot section. You know, so those are the things you have to kind of take note of. So when you're creating like what we're creating here is like a slice of our fake natural world, we want to kind of mimic that. So biodiversity, exactly. And also on top of that is like, there's a lot of dead material under the living material, and there's different variety of dead material too. So it's like, these are the things we want to like try to observe and apply to our work here. So first thing we're going to get into is we have this base model, which I'm about to show you. It's kind of like we've built the foundation. We've laid pretty much the stone and the dirt is the base. And then we start, now we're going to add layers of paint. We're going to get the base layer painted and looking nice all on its own. And then we're going to just slowly build up layer by layer our plant life, our foliage. Because also we don't want to go too far, because we are making a sculpture, remember? We're not making a real slice of nature here. Because probably in reality, depending on this section of the woods, it might be just so overgrown it would just look bad as a sculpture. So we want to find that balance between adding enough to make it look nice, but not too much that it's like overcrowded and just not looking nice as a piece of artwork. So who's my favorites? I don't really have any favorites of anything, even food. So I'm not a favorite picking kind of person. There's far too much good selection in this world to pick favorites, in my opinion. Okay, so let's get into it. Let me grab the character really quick though first, so we can kind of see how it looks together right now, but then I will remove the character so we can focus on the base, and then we'll add the character back on at the end. So let me just grab that really quick. Okay, let me set him down somewhere. Go ahead and begin. All right, so first I want to show you guys what I did for homework. I sculpted these. Well, that was something I already had. I made some bones that I sculpted, and then I also sculpted a little critter, and I decided to make kind of like a scene within a scene, right? So we have a little burrow here with the critter there, and then there's the kind of, this will be kind of the entryway to the burrow. And there we go. And then so these elements right here are sculpted out of cast clay. And then I just simply, once I had those finished, I used the epoxy clay, the Magic Sculpt, and I just stuck a big sheet of it on here and then just smushed a rock into it to create the cliff edge or the cliff face. So that's the finished result. No, I didn't do anything other than stick the material. When I did the sculpt mold, I stuck the bones in place, and then I stuck this Spanish moss in there. And I haven't done anything else to it, but we're going to. I'm going to use varnish and stuff and paint on top to kind of hold it, because right now it's just kind of loosely in there, you know, but we'll want to make that a little bit more, you know, tight. So there we go. That is the base of the base. So the next step to this is to essentially paint. We want to paint this because this brown is just, it's a nice base color, but we want to make it darker and richer, and we want to add color variety. And then of course the stone should look like actual stone. So I think that's where we'll start, is we'll use a nice kind of a gray color to base coat the stones, and then we'll take it from there. So let me grab some brushes here real quick. A few colors here. Shrubbery, the shrubbery. Probably use a pretty big brush at this point. There we go. Just kidding. Let's see what we have here. Oh, that's perfect. Oh, that's not too bad either. Ah, not bad either. Take those. We'll take those three. It's good to use an appropriate size brush when you're, you know, the thing about painting a scenic base like this is you're not gonna need to you don't need to be super careful, you know. It's a natural environment. Things are a little bit dirty in reality in the you know, in this natural environment. Ooh, nice. That's how you know a brush is good, ready for business. What did I use this for? That's how you know it's ready. Let's see. We'll get a little water vessel. Put some water in here. For some painting. Hey. That's so funny. Isn't that crazy? We're getting to the point now where people that when I started streaming, people were young and now they're they're all grown up. Hey, thank you so much for coming in and saying that. That's really nice. I appreciate it. All right, we're gonna do some white here. Some white. Oop, maybe. Oh, just a little bit. Just a little bit. And we're gonna take some black and we're just gonna make a gray color. Kind of a middle tone gray. That's what we want to start with. Okay. Bring the white into the black since that's the don't want to get it too light here. A little bit thinned out and soupy, that's okay. It's quite alright. It's good. Don't need to add any more white. Just gonna give it a good base coating of gray. And just like all our other base coats, you just want to really make sure you're getting it in all the nooks and crannies, and that's why it's nice to thin out your paints. They will flow better on a sculpture. And you'll become familiar with this, but some colors, when you thin them out, they will not cover as well, and you just have to be just aware of that. But this gray, it's covering just nicely. It's fine. Yeah, cosplay gray. all the painting companies need to come out with a cosplay gray. Precisely match. It's actually a pretty close match. Let's see here. I'm not gonna paint that at all. Yeah, that's pretty close. Not too bad. Let's give it a good base coat of cosplay gray. Getting my nice edge there. That's a good way to edge things. If you got a flat brush and you just give it a little wiggle, and you can get the bristles to like really push up to the edge without going over. So I like using flat brushes quite a bit because you can turn them and make a fine line, but then you can turn them and do a broad line, you know. With a round brush, you're only getting the same line. I'll probably have to go back in with a smaller brush, get those little smaller spots. So it has been announced that we will be doing another class, and the topic of the next class will be how to sculpt a dragon or dragon character. I'm not sure the design we're going for just yet, but I will try and pick something that I know not only I can do and make look nice, but that you guys will be able to do and make look nice. So if you want to join us, there's probably gonna be a couple weeks off between the end today and when we start that next one. So I'll officially announce the start date on social media and on Discord. So just make sure you're a part of one of those. I'm guessing we'll probably do 2 weeks. So 3 weeks from now it'll start. And yeah, so if you want to jump on to a project from the beginning, it's coming soon. And who doesn't like dragons, right? As far as things you will need, supplies, it's pretty much going to be the same as what was needed for this class. So just go back and watch the beginning episode of this class to get yourself a good supply list, so you can if you want to hit the gate running, you know, just and have your stuff ready to go. This class was funded by an individual who came forward and wanted to make this happen for everybody. They funded it and paid for it all. So this next one that's not the case. We're going to try and fund it just through you guys, through everybody that wants to chip in. So when the next class starts, I'll have something set up where you can throw tips, kind of like a tip jar, and it'll keep tally and stuff. And if that does well, then we'll just keep doing it that way. If it doesn't do well, then we will I'll do it different, where we'll set a goal, and then once the goal is reached, then the class will start, instead of just starting right away, you know. So that's the game plan with how we'll move forward. You did miss Arnold, yeah, but you can go watch the VOD. It is highlighted and saved forever. It was a good time. Any ideas on how much cost clay we'll need for that one? We're not going to make it too big that you guys are going to break the bank having to buy a ton of cost clay. So I would say it's always safe to start a project with probably about 3 pounds of clay. You'll probably end up only using 2, but it's always good to have. So maybe 3 pounds of cost clay. But you can also spread it out. You don't have to get it all at once, because you're going to have plenty of time to realize if you're running out, you know, because of the I'd say there's one tool I would like to track down that there's a tool that I use that I really like using for making scales. Problem is it's a surgical instrument, and I'm gonna try and scour the internet and find that exact tool. If I can't find the exact one, something that's very similar, so you guys can get that yourselves, because I just know for a fact it makes doing scales much easier, which we'll be doing a lot of those. Okay, so we almost have coverage, full coverage here. Just need to kind of clean up this edge here really quick. I was going to use a finer brush, but we'll just Bob Ross it here with the old 2-incher precision large brush work. There. Okay, let's flip it. Let's kind of look at it from, always look at it from like really extreme angles. That'll reveal to you any kind of undercuts that you might have missed. Also, I'll paint a little bit over on the bottom here, just like a little over paint, so that way later when we're attaching the wood at the bottom, if there's a little bit showing, at least it's painted, you know. Okay, so now I'm gonna paint the inside of this cavern. I'm not gonna really add much detail in there. I just wanted the idea that there's the entryway is there for the animal. So I'm gonna take some more black, create a really dark color. Oh, wrong one. And I'm just going to take this black and I'm just going to just coat the whole inside area there. Kind of feathering or wet blending the black outwards here. The gray is still a little bit wet, so kind of blends together. Yeah, so see, we're telling a story here. We got this little guy here. We got how he gets into his little burrow. I was originally going to have him like a hole up here somewhere, but I just decided it would be much easier to do right there. So digital model gray. Okay, so the next step, what I like to do with stone is very the colors of stone they vary quite a bit. If you pay really close attention, you'll notice that some stones have a shade of like blue. Some stones might have a shade of green or even brown or orange. Like they're all kind of gray toned or like really dulled down tones, but we're gonna use, I'm gonna take some blue first. Some I gotta turn off the filter here. There we go. Take some of this blue here. Actually, no, let me give this a good shaking first. So we're just gonna mix up a few different kind of variations of this base gray. A bluish base gray, maybe like a greenish tone, an orangish kind of tone, and then we're just gonna kind of base coat different stones, or pick out different stones and base coat them like they're made out of a different material. You could do it just gray and then start dry brushing, and then you could make the rocks look pretty nice that way, but this is just another way to really make it look more real. So a little bit of blue. Let's do a little bit of like green. What a difference with the color filter. Yeah, the filter is to stop so when I'm working on sculpting and it's just the gray sculpture, it tends to look like bluish, and that's because of the green screen behind me reflecting green back at the cameras really pick up color. They're very sensitive to light and color and stuff like that. So the filter is to kind of counteract that green. But what ends up happening is you're not able to see blues and greens with the filter on. You can see all the other colors, the oranges and the browns and stuff, but okay, a little bit of green. And let's do like an orangey marigold yellow color here. And that should be good. Just it gives us a good selection here. Oh, that one's cleft too. Alright, we're going to use a little bit smaller of a brush, something like this. Yeah. And we need black. Oops. Dropping stuff. There we go. I already got plenty of white. Alright, let's first mix in some black to these colors. That'll immediately take the hue down. Then we'll work in some white. Yeah, the white's really strong. Probably went too much. Oops. A little bit more black. Let's add a smidge of water here. It's gonna seem like it's just gray, but it's like a really greenish gray. Okay, then we'll take this and we will just pick out some stones here. Just some areas. And just kind of just be random about it. You can always go back and forth. Don't be afraid to make decisions. You know what, we'll do this one. He's got a green buddy next to him. They're green buddies. Put it there. And we'll just work around until we got a good spread. I'll do this whole thing green here. And maybe this one right here. Yeah, we'll do one more right there. Already starting to look really good. Just with one variation. Okay, let's mix another one. We can still go back to the green. Towel here. Alright, let's do our orange next. Add in the black first. Kind of make it more of like a brownish tone. Okay, there we go. Let's mix in a little bit of white. Remember, the white's really strong, so you don't need a lot of it. And a little bit of black again. I'm just looking for it to have that, where I can see that it's gray, but it's got this subtle tone that's not like the other grays. And that looks good right there. Let's add a little drip of water. Alright, we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to pick out a few stones and bring out some color variation here. Let's do this one right here. Let's do the upper part of this one. The more you practice being random like this, kind of like the natural world is, the better sense you get of how to be random. Controlled randomness. Something to practice. Okay, I think this big one right here needs to be this color. Drop it. And maybe this one right here. Blue and red. Oh yeah, you know, when you're trying to figure out kind of like what colors to use, you just look around at different photos of rock formations and stuff and really try to try to dissect what colors are happening there, you know, like how to make the color that you're seeing. And the further you go down that rabbit hole, the more you realize that nothing is just composed of just one solid color in the natural world, you know. It's usually a mix of all kinds of kind of colors coming together. Would leftover Sculpey be a good use on big rocks on the base, or is it hard to get the details on it? No, you can use whatever. Yeah, if you got like a filler material, like even some dried leftover Sculpey, you can definitely use for some rock formations. The reason I chose to use these ones at the top are made out of cos clay is for the durability, because you know the spots right here are points that could break if the sculpture was to fall, right? So we went ahead and reinforced those by just making them out of cos clay. Okay, let's go ahead and mix up our blue tone. And it's gonna look a little bit, once we get the layers on top, it's all gonna make sense. So it's gonna look a little bit too colorful initially, but what we're gonna do is after we get these base colors down, we're gonna do dry brushes and washes, and that's what's really gonna bring it to life. So let's do our third and final one here, the blue. Pretty intense blue, so I'm just gonna add a little bit more black. And just a smidge of white. It'll be kind of like our darker granite obsidian type stone or something. Get some water. Let's get that, put that on there. Let's paint this whole section here at the bottom. I enjoy both. They're definitely two different skill sets to practice. I enjoy both. Something being harder or easier is technically sculpting is easier for me because I sculpt it more, so it's easier for me to do. Do you know what I'm saying? The difficulty of something is determined by how proficient you are at that something. So something that is very difficult to someone else can be very easy to another person that's, you know, practicing that thing more. So they're both skill sets that can be that you can become very proficient at, that have all sorts of different avenues to go down, and with an infinite skill ceiling, you know. It's any of the arts, there's just an infinite void of improvement that you can, you know, pursue it until the end of time and still be growing. There's No such thing as mastering a art form, in my opinion. Oh, we'll do some dry brushing for sure. You'll see here. We're about to do some of that kind of stuff. So we're intentionally leaving behind some of the gray colored stones too. We're considering that base gray as a color in itself. You'd like to learn both? I think it's good. I think it's a good thing to do. If you just sculpt something and then you don't paint it, well, now your painting skills falling behind your sculpting skills. You know, you want to level them at the same time, in my opinion. Unless you really just don't like painting. There's plenty of sculptors out there that don't like to paint and they don't paint their work. So it's just a personal choice. I personally like the ability to create finished works, you know, or all the way through to the finish line. Okay, I think that's pretty good. It's nice and spread out. Okay, so let's do the next step. Now, I'll probably do you can either do the wash first or the dry brush first, but usually there's a little bit of back and forth where we'll do a dry brush first and bring out the highlights, but then we'll tone it back down with washes and when we do the washes, we want it to be like browns and greens to kind of really create this real natural look. So let's see, I believe I brought a dry brush with me. Now, a type of brush that works really good for dry brushing specifically is a makeup brush. Oh yeah, right here. This guy right here. So get yourself a pack of makeup brushes. These work really good for getting that nice smooth dry brush finish. Let's first mix up our color. We're just gonna go over with just a light gray color. So we're just gonna take this gray that's already here, and we're gonna lighten it up. Like one shade lighter. Then we do like a little bit of a heavier dry brush with the one shade lighter, and then we go even lighter than that, and we just hit like the edges of things, you know, like very tips or edges of the rock. And then we'll probably go over with a wash. So let's grab this. We're just gonna load up this brush. And remove some of the excess paint. That's looking good. You want to hit the areas that wherever your light source is coming from, you want to hit those areas first to kind of remove the paint buildup on the dry brush. Oh, we got some of that blue. That's all right. Forgot about the class. Well, you're here now. That's good. Okay, so now let's rinse. I'm gonna hit it with another highlight, one shade higher. I'm gonna use a smaller brush, and we're just gonna kind of hit the pretty much like the points of where the light is hitting. Let's mix up a even brighter color here. That's pretty good. I'll just use this brush. I want that to be a little bit lighter. That's good. Yeah, so if you don't know, you dry brushing is when you load up the brush with the paint, you remove the excess paint, so it's not just, so when you brush onto a surface, it's not just loaded with paint. It's just a subtle trace amount of paint left on the brush. So when I graze it over the top of this texture here, it only catches on the high spots. See that? And it doesn't fully saturate it. And so I'm just, you know, bringing out the things I want to be highlighted, like these just edges, the top edge of these stones and stuff like that. You can really kind of control. And this also, you can bring out highlights this way, but you can also bring out like wear and tear when something, like, imagine like jeans, right? The fading on the jeans kind of would be just dry brushed, like a light blue that's dry brushed. So you can simulate all kinds of different things with this. And the better your textures are, the more effective that strategy will be. So, and then you can see I'll usually wipe off the excess paint on my brush, and then I'll paint it actually on my skin, and as soon as I can see that it's just hitting the high spots of the texture of my skin, then I know, okay, this is good. Like worn knees on jeans, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you can simulate, you can use dry brushing for all kinds of effects, but it's a really useful technique, especially when you're painting larger things. I think You don't see a lot of, I mean, there's some dry brushing, but I think you don't really see a lot of dry brushing in the miniature painting world. It's just because I think the models are just so small. It's hard to make an effective use of it. So, what happens when you run out of skin to test on? You just go over the previous layer, and you can still see the same effect happening. As long as you see that it's not. It's just one of those things you just get a feel for. You just get it. You'll go into dry brush something with an overloaded brush a few times, you know, before you kind of figure out, okay, that was too much paint, or okay, that was too little of paint. Okay. This piece is sold, yeah. This piece is sold. Indeed. Okay, so that's good enough for dry brushing. I'd like to move on to the next layer, which will be to do washes. So let me grab some colors here. You can either make a brown, or you can by mixing orange with black. Yeah. Like during the dawning era of the miniature world, everyone just dry brushed everything. I've had phases in my own painting career where I just dry brush the heck out of everything. But I can definitely speak from, like, when you're doing larger sculptures, dry brushing is really nice. Really nice for building up highlights or revealing textures is a big one. Because a lot of textures you'll sculpt in there, like cloth texture and stuff, but you really can't see it until you do like a technique like a dry brush, and that really brings the texture out. So okay, so let's see, I have a brown here. Let me see. We'll want to use a brown and a dark green. Okay, and got this dark green. Also have a light green. We can start making hints towards maybe some moss on the stone. Alright, this is a ruddy leather brown. Nice and rich. I think I'm just going to use that as it is. Let's use this brush. That's how you know it's a good one, see? When it smoke comes off of it, when you give it a... That's a good quality one right there. And now a wash is you take paint and you can water it, or you can thin it out with all kinds of different things. I usually use water. And you get it really watery. Almost like a milk consistency is what you're going for here. And we're going to just kind of build up more color variation. So skim milk or whole milk? More like a whole milk. So I'm just kind of randomly placing it, not full coverage, and then dabbing with the paper towel to remove from the high spots. And also, if you see areas where it's just like it's just too obvious, you'll just kind of dab it with the paper towel. We're just gonna do that over here, so. Have you used the moss from Dirty Down? I have not, but I've heard good things. I have used the rust, and it's excellent. Yeah, exactly. I can only imagine the time it would take for me to paint something on the scale that I do if I was to do the really meticulous layering paint work, you know. Jeez, it would. I could easily see adding hundreds of hours onto a project. Gotta find that balance somewhere. But the missus really, I think she really does that approach quite well. She does a lot of that, like really clean, smooth color transitions. A really tight kind of approach. I tend to be a little bit more loose, definitely. Grimy, loose, dirty things, you know. We're talking about painting here. Alright, so we're just working it in here. You know, and probably towards the dirt, you can make it get dirtier, you know, because it just makes sense, right? That the stones near the dirt would be more dirty. And we will get into this, but the way we'll paint this base is we will use washes as well. Right. The world we live in is a very dirty place. Most people forget that. Dirty is just realistic. So I'm just making some more wash here. Washing. Okay, it's a little bit too thin, to be honest, but right, make it work. Probably use this for our the base. As you can see, the base really will absorb. It's going to absorb this watery paint mixture quite quickly. Now we're gonna paint the base almost like a watercolor, where we want to leave the light spots or the high spots lighter, and we want to kind of just push back the darker spots with this kind of darker wash. Because the highlight color of the dirt is already looking good. Anywhere that moisture would kind of entrap will be darker. The lighter colored dirt is, you know, usually towards the top. Any exposed dirt surfaces. Even just dab my brush in the water. If you apply paint and it's just a little bit too thick, you can just dab your brush in the water and then use the water to kind of spread it out a little bit faster. I'll probably make this underground area, because this is underground. It's gonna all be dark. And we don't want any, like, what you don't want is you don't want where you put like a blob of paint and it's just obvious that there's like a hard cutoff, you know. You always want to blur and blend the edges so it all kind of merges together as one. Okay, I need more. You know what? Let's do. I'll use these bigger tubes of paint. I tend to use bigger tubes of paint like this for bases and stuff because you can burn through paint really quick, especially with the really absorbent materials like this Sculpting mold. So this is a fluorescent orange, which I always love using to make a brown. It'll make such a vibrant brown when you add black to it. I don't like force it too much, but I do like, you know, the idea of the light always coming from above typically, you know. So I just force shadows and highlights a little bit, you know, like I did on this rock right here with the little this upper edge being highlighted and a little bit darker here, but not like really intensely, you know, like. Okay, so we're just gonna add black here. This is a fluorescent orange paint. It's a really bright color. The more vibrant the orange, the more vibrant the brown will be. You know, all we're just gonna do is mix some black into this here. So that's a really rich light brown, but we're gonna need all that black probably. And we need more. Just go right in there. So it's a yeah, it's called fluorescent orange. Mixing a lot of this color because we need to coat that underground area with like a rich dark brown, because we want it to be distinguished from the top. So okay, so now we're just going to scoop it into here a little bit, and then we're gonna make a wash. Let's actually upgrade to our bigger brush. A little bit more paint. Making some soup here. That's pretty good. Let me see. I'm not sure if it is. Oh yeah, it is. That's intense. Woo! It is indeed fluorescent. Oh yeah, look at my brown is now fluorescent. Oh, this whole thing is. It's added feature. The pieces look cool under a black light. Okay. Oh. Okay, just a little bit more water. Okay. Now I'm just gonna go right over these bones. Okay. I'm gonna get it nice and get all the little nooks and crannies painted over. And before it dries, we're just gonna go with the paper towel here and give it a little tap. Just like that. And again, if the paint's a little bit too thick, we can just go with a wet brush. Dip your brush in the water, help spread it out more. I mix paint into it, Bug, to make it easier to, well, to make it already a base natural color. Because it's a big pain in the butt to cover the white. So when I mixed the Sculpting mold, I mixed in that fluorescent orange paint with some black. And just, yeah. It just saves you a headache trying to get that Sculpting mode not white, so. It does, yeah. Well, and you can see, like, I will be using the natural tone of the Sculpting mode for just as like the highlight of the dirt. You know, I don't even need to paint that part anymore. Let's bring out these bones before it dries. So it's worth mentioning, I painted these bones before I put them into the Sculpting mode. I painted them just a base kind of yellowy bone color. There we go, now we have this nice distinction between the underground and the above ground. I'm gonna get this, all this loose material is gonna get kind of pushed down and painted over with Mod Podge or some sort of varnish to kind of seal it in, so it's not just hanging out of there like that. Okay, well, back to our rocks before we got distracted here. You know, let's just use up what we have here. And we're just gonna make a nice little wash. I'm gonna paint the underside of this. Just be bold, you know. Just go like this. And then we're just gonna take this here. Good. We just want to build up layers. The more layers you do, more variation, the nicer it'll look. That's why you can't be afraid if you do a layer you're not too fond of, that's fine. Just keep layering. Reminds you of the rock monster from Neverending Story. I actually sculpted that character before. A while ago. Let's do a little bit kind of from the dirt going into the top here. Transition a little bit better. Type of paint. This is an acrylic paint. Let's make this entrance to this cave a little bit dirty, right? For my little animal friend entering, leaving and entering. Okay, I think that's looking pretty good. Okay, let's do a little bit more up here, and then we're going to start getting into the next part of the base. But essentially, you want to keep pushing this the coloring of the base until you have it exactly how you want it. Push it as far as you can. And then once you got it where you like it, then we're going to start adding the foliage. And layer by layer we build it up. We have our finished result. But before we do the foliage, let's go ahead, and this is something you should always do. We're going to take the character and we're going to stick it in place and just kind of see how things are looking. See how we like it so far. Alright. Don't get any paint on him. Now he's still in the works with the paint job. Let's see if I can get him into his resting place here. Go. All right, let's think about this. So he's gonna have mushrooms in his pack. He's holding a mushroom. Well, maybe you want like a little bit of a mushroom patch area going on here. Okay. And so I could see, you know, more dirt towards the cliff side, and then it gets more and more full of plant life as we get towards this side. And then, yeah, I can see definitely kind of foliage more towards here with mushrooms here. We won't have to do a whole lot, but okay. Let's take him off and then now the mushrooms, you just simply have to let's see here. There we go. You just have to paint the ones that we sculpted already, and then you drill a hole and you stick it in there with glue. Now let's talk about glues. And let me grab some. Let's get the paint stuff out of here. Technically, I would, and I still will do more layers of paint, but I need to demonstrate to you guys the next step, which is after you've done all the paint work, you're going to begin layering different various materials using glue to create the rest of the environment. And you can glue layers of things on and even do more paint layers on top of the glued on stuff. So there's always a chance you could end up going back to painting. Just kind of go back and forth till you have your finished result. Let's see here. I just want to go over different glues that I use. There's a lot of glues out there, different kinds of glues, and I haven't even explored them all myself, so. But I'll show you guys what I use and what I find that works. We also grabbed some things that we will be gluing. So what I like to do first is I like to take a ground cover material like this, which is it's like a blended turf earth blend. It's essentially what it is it's colored sponges that's been blended up to different sizes. So you could make it if you wanted to out of necessity, right? Or you can buy it like I did here. And what this is going to act like is it's going to act like kind of like the underneath plants that are growing, there's usually a layer of dead stuff, and this is what's going to simulate that. There's all kinds of different dead stuff we can use here. I think I have yeah, okay. Have various what looks like leaf litter, right? Again, this type of stuff can be bought, or it can just be simply acquired from real plant life outside. Just make sure you're drying the stuff out properly, making sure there's no critters. And you're gonna need to seal it as well. Once we get it all glued on there. But first thing I like to do is I'll start with the blended turf, and I'll use like a white glue. You could use Elmer's glue or Mod Podge. I use this Weld Bond glue. It's just I'm pretty sure it's a type of PVA glue. So it's just a white glue that air dries. Those are birch seeds. I don't even know what these are. I have no idea. I just know they look exactly like tiny little fall leaves. Which leaf litter has always been a very tricky thing to figure out, so. This is another type of glue. It's a really liquidy glue here, see that? Made by War World Scenic. It's just a real liquidy glue, so if you got like a bunch of loose materials on here, you can just drizzle it on there and it'll just kind of go and run through everything. And then they also have a spray, which I'm pretty sure is the same stuff, just comes in a spray bottle, but I don't even know if this still works. It's a glued shut. So what I have is I buy these little empty spray bottles. And you can get this glue, or you can just take some of this thicker stuff, pour it in there, and maybe water it down, or add alcohol or something. You just have to experiment. You have to figure out what works for you. But and you can also get these little things too, these little droppers. Where we can put that little liquidy glue in there and just be really precise. So it's good to have this kind of stuff. But always work with what you have and make the best of it, even if it's just Elmer's glue. This is just a little bit of a thicker and greener version of this stuff right here. There's all kinds of different things you can get. Here's some sawdust, just from the workshop floor. Useful. It may not seem useful because of the color and stuff, but if you were to glue this onto a surface and then use like paint washes to create all kinds of, it could look like all kinds of different things. Then there's static grass. I'm not going to do any static grass here, but this is a static grass applicator. So essentially it creates a static field when you turn it on, and it takes little nylon fibers. If you put glue down, you sprinkle the nylon fibers through this, and the static electricity makes them stand up on end, and then the glue will dry, and then it looks like grass. The thing about static grass, although I love how it looks, it's not as it doesn't last as long as like the rest of the sculpture will, because when you're cleaning it through dusting and all that stuff, it just starts to come off over time. So I always kind of lean a little bit away from static grass for that reason, just for the longevity of it. But it does look really nice. So it lasts a while. It does last a while, but when you're making pieces that last, you know, of generational works, you know, you kind of think about those kinds of things. So anyways, but I'll still use it sometime. Just be aware that it's not gonna last forever. Not many things do, though, to be honest. Okay, let's clean this out here. Dried glue. Okay, should be good. Okay, so we're gonna dedicate a paintbrush to the glue cause. Grab a paintbrush. This is why you never throw away paintbrushes. You use your paintbrushes for painting until they become all frayed and destroyed, which is the ultimate end of every brush. Then the frayed, destroyed brushes become glue brushes, clay glue, there's all kinds of more destructive things that you need a brush for. And that's why you hang on to all your brushes. Just have 2 sets, your nice painting ones and your retired painting ones. So all the sculpts you make should be in a glass display case. Yeah, but that's not always the case. So in a perfect world, yes, right? All right, so let's see. I'm just thinking about where I want the plant foliage to be, and I'm just going to put some glue down. Kind of in here. Maybe a little bit right there. Okay, and then we're just going to spread the glue out where we want this plant area to be. Again, we don't want to be too uniform with it. A little bit randomized. With little breaks in between where you can see the dirt, you know, through the where the plants will be. Or without doing voiceovers? Of what? Plant life kind of growing up on the rock right here. Alright. There we go. And now we're just going to simply take our this stuff here. We're just going to try to not make a huge mess. And we're just going to oh yeah? And I'm just gonna start from the thicker areas and kind of spread it out and tamp it down. And you're gonna learn that this process, I'm gonna try and show it to you in a way that you normally won't do it, which is what I would do at this stage is I would just wait for this stuff to all dry before doing the next stage, but we're just going to jump right into the next stage because I would like to show you guys the whole process, at least partially. Okay, let's get a little bit more over here. Yeah, so what you do is you let this dry, and then after the glue has dried, then you'll shake off the excess. There we go. Nice color though, you see. Not too vibrant and full of life, but not dead either. And then, you know, the next step might be to add some leaf litter. So we would just, you can just add it on top like this, or you can you could even add this into a cup and mix it with glue and then kind of apply it, or you sprinkle it on top here, and then we're just gonna kind of spray the glue. Just gotta kind of experiment with things. but it's not just gonna stay there on its own. So we gotta wait. There's some of this glue in here. Really liquidy glue. And I want to try not to push it around. Too much. And it's gonna look weird until the glue dries. No, these glues, they dry clear. They're white initially, but I'll make sure they're actually not going to go anywhere. Okay. That should be good. Goes on white, dries clear. Okay, so then after you do ground cover, right? So we got the paint layer. Then we do the ground cover, which is just sawdust and leaves and whatever, however many layers of this you'd like to build up. And you get it all glued in. Then it dries. Then we do the next step, which will be the actual designing of plants, plant life. Which included in this will be the mushrooms, but I buy these little the little fake plants that people like to decorate their houses with, and you kind of combine them together and cut them in a certain way and paint them to make them look like foliage varieties. Grab some to show you. Now this is just stuff you'll just start collecting, and I actually find a lot of this stuff, it's expensive when you buy it new, but you can get a lot of this stuff. You'll find it at like a thrift store, pretty much brand new. Somebody decorated their home and then changed their decorations, and you'll get a bunch of it for a couple bucks, you know. So because what you want here is you want variety. So, yeah, like stuff like this. And when you look for it, you want to look for things that look small, because there's a lot of fake foliage that's really big leaves and stuff. That's not going to help you. And it's like it's all made out of this kind of rubbery plastic stuff. So, and then so we're going to cut and drill holes and glue this in place however we want, and then we can even go a step further and add paint and paint these, just kind of use these as like a base model. So okay, there's all kinds of different things, different ones. Fish tank foliage, yeah. Decorations. I've collected so much of this stuff over the years. I just have bags and bags full. So I think I need scissors. Oh, I don't. Let me get some scissors, and I'll show you. We'll do like a little example, little patch, just kind of show you how it'll look. But the key here is to be very not too much and not too little. Just like a good in between, and we want a lot of variety, you know. So try and cut things in a way you can even make the same. You can cut from the same source and design it in a way that it looks like a completely different plant. So let me go grab my scissors. I'll be right back. And here's the thing too, is if you're trying to create something and you can't find it, then you can of course make it. Like we have our little mushrooms here that we made, and you could essentially make all this foliage, but I think it's just one of those details. It's best to save time and not reinvent the wheel. We also need a drill with a tiny drill bit to punch holes into the sculpting mold, because that's how we'll glue. That's how we'll glue this stuff in. You essentially just drill holes into it, and you can either use the white glue or you can use super glue, or both. So we can see the glue is starting to dry in some areas, but still very much wet. And like I said, normally you would wait for this glue, all this stuff to dry before we moved on to the next step here. But for the sake of time, here's our little mushroom guy here. Looks pretty good. I have a bunch of them, so this will be kind of like a whole little mushroom patch, all right here where he's kind of facing. But what we're gonna do is I'm gonna make a little assembly of plants in this area. So I have kind of mushrooms over here, and then a little bit of plant life over there, and then I think that's pretty much. You don't need to go overboard here. It's very easy to get carried away with this step, so just a little bit. Alright, now let me grab some of these plants, and I'll just kind of show you how I make decisions, what to add and how to add it. Let's see here. So I could probably just do just individual ones here. Pull that off. Or we clump them together like this. Make like a hosta looking thing. See? So I'll just drill a hole and stuff that into the hole with some glue. Just start making decisions. Okay, now let me just make sure I see the hole. A bit wider. And you know, the deeper you can kind of push it in there, that's just the more stable it's going to be. You know, more likely it's going to be to stick around for the long haul. You know. Now the character's foot goes right here and right here, so we're not going to do we're not going to mess with that because it's a nice seamless fit. So we don't want to mess with that too much. Okay. Oops. I could see. Let's take this, clip off these edges here. Pruning it up. There we go. And we'll just drill another hole. And we should add some glue here though. So let's just let's kind of lift this up a little bit and put some glue right at the base. And kind of lift it up and push it down a few times. Get that glue down in there. There we go. And you can brush away the excess glue, or you could even take some of the you know, something like this and just kind of sprinkle it over the excess. And just cover it up. Just like that. The more materials you have to work with, it's just the more diversity there is, and more kind of nice it's going to look in the end. Let's add another plant. Isn't that cool? It already looks nice, doesn't it? So simple. We like to overcomplicate things, but if you really think about it, the whole process of this base, the only real technical execution was like the sculpting of the stones. But even that is simple, because all I did was I used a rock and I just pushed the rock and used it as a sculpting tool to create the stone face. So there's really no reason anybody can, you know, anybody should be able to do this. It's just knowing what materials to use, when, how, and where, and I've now revealed that to you. So okay, let's cut some more little plants here. Let's just do a few more. Like I said, you want a little bit diversity, and work slowly here. You know, don't take a look, take a step back, look at the whole piece. You know, don't get too into it and then realize you accidentally made a rainforest. You know, just like a little piece like this, I can see. Maybe even a little bit less. It's true though. I know from experience when I give you these warnings. Okay, let's do some more here. I seem to have lost the whole. Yep. Alright, I have no idea. Oh, there it is. And, you know, I'll probably have like where it's just a little bit bigger plant life, and it gets tapers down into smaller plant life, you know, as we get towards the edge there. Maybe like a little. Hey, what's up, Chuck? What I use for the leaf litter? I don't know. I found someone was selling leaf litter. I'm pretty sure I bought this online somewhere. There's all kinds of stuff like this. Like I said, you can either buy it or you can make it. It's some sort of actual biological material. It's a seed. Yeah, I think a bug was saying that it like some sort of seed pod or something. Yeah, I've been meaning to kind of really experiment and you know, harvesting things from the garden and making my own kind of blends and mixtures. Gotta love this world. It's never ending exploration and discovery. Okay, that's. Yeah, leaf litter has been one I've always been trying. It's like a tough one to crack that I've been trying to figure out for a long time. I found that stuff and it looks really good. There we go. Birch seed pods. Let's see how these are doing. You probably have to tamp them down a little bit. Oh, yeah. Just want to make sure the stuff sticks. Not everything will make the final cut. The final cut will be at the end when all the glue dries and you have to dust it all off and make sure anything that didn't get stuck comes off. So I think we pretty much covered everything. This is pretty much the process now. You just kind of slowly adding and like I said, you can go back in with paint and you can add some paint to the leaves or just kind of push it as far as you want. I'll glue the mushrooms down over here, kind of like this, and then I might do a little bit of moss on the stones here. A little bit of moss. Now with the moss, you can take a cup. What I usually do is I take we take this stuff. It's ballast material, okay? And I put this in a little cup and I mix it with glue, okay? In the cup, and you make a paste, okay? And then you spread the paste onto the sculpture. So that's one way of doing it. I just kind of push it in the cracks and stuff, and then when the glue dries, it's all solid, you know. So, yeah. And then after the base is completely finished, what I will do is I will take this onto a piece of plywood, thin birch plywood usually, like a thin sheet. I'll trace out the outside and I'll cut a nice piece of wood. I'll sand the edges, sand it really smooth, and then permanently glue it to the bottom of this. And then I'll add little felt pads for feet on the bottom. And then I'll cut a hole and I'll put my little cnotbusch logo in the middle there. And that's essentially how you finish the project. And you can decide to keep the character. I can decide if I want to keep the character separate or if I want it to go all together. In this case, it's gonna all get glued together, I think, in the end. But usually for like shipping or whatever, you would make it so they just stay, that they disassemble, you know. But this one is my grandma actually purchased this piece, so she'll be the one taking it home, which is cool. And so she'll be able to come pick it up in person. Grandma, yeah. Grandma is definitely a big patron of the arts, so, and she liked how this one was looking a lot and wanted to buy it. And I gave her the price and she said yes. So let's see here. This is another reason why I'll make it permanent, is it's not very user friendly how it comes apart. If I wanted this to come apart for shipping, I would make it much more user friendly, because it's really hard to kind of find the spot that this goes in here. A hard time here. I got it last time. We go like this. No, hold on. Let me just grab that. Where's that flashlight at? Ah, yes, I see the hole. Oh. There we go. Then he'll have the mushroom in his hand. And the mushrooms on the base. You can kind of see, you can really see the scene kind of coming to life here. There we go. So you guys have to wait to see the final reveal, but you can kind of get a sense of it already. We will, I'll keep working on this for the next probably about 2 weeks. And I'm hoping to be done with it by then. And then we'll take a nice video and show you guys the final reveal. Yeah. Cool, man. I think I pretty much covered everything you would need to finish the base up. I know it's a lot, but trust me when I say that this part of the process is really fun, and it's not really technical like the sculpting was, where, you know, it's really, this is much looser, as you can see. You know, it's more about just knowing what materials to get and use, and it's just a fun process. So let me think here. I think we'll switch over here, folks. That'll end this class. Class is finished. Now let's go check out the Discord and see what you guys have been up to. I know it's been like 2 weeks since our last one. That's the thing to say too about this base process is be patient with it and allow yourself to work on it in layers, because there's a lot of waiting for things to dry, which when you work with cast clay, you're not used to that because you're used to just baking it for 30 minutes and then being able to continue working. But I promise you, the more layers you add on, the more layers you build up, going from gluing things to painting and so on and so forth, just the nicer and cooler it's gonna look. So, but yeah, let's switch over to Discord and see what you guys have been up to. And yeah, next week will not be class, and the week after I think we'll do 2 weeks off before we start the next session. And I'll figure out how. I think I either want to do like something through Streamlabs where it'll track our it'll track people chipping in towards the class, but I have to get that all set up. So I'll have that set up soon, so we can start getting funding for the next class. But the next class will start in 3 weeks, and we'll be sculpting a dragon. So let's see here. Next project will be sculpting dragons. I don't know exactly what the dragon will be, the style or the type, but it will be dragons. So let's see here. Let's get over to the Discord. Just give me 1 second here. Will you guys be painting said dragon in a class or two? No, we'll do the classes just like we did with this one. I want these to be like you can literally follow along and end up with a finished project, and there's no you know, there's nothing left out. So where you'll have, if you follow it along, you will have a finished piece at the end. So that's the idea. Okay, I think we're hashtag week 15, right? Is that correct? Let's see here. Yeah, hashtag week 15, okay. Pretty sure. So, hashtag week 15. Okay. We'll do newest to oldest here. Red ticket. Hashtag week 15. 2 old fellas hanging out. I used static grass and did a little airbrushing over it with yellow to make it look more alive. Okay. The dirt you see is actual dirt that I got out of the garden and cooked it on a skillet to dry it out and kill the bugs. Then mixed with PVA glue. Oh yeah, very good. Very nice. Hey man, that turned out really good. See, this is the reason why I like mixed media bases or just mixed media elements, is because look at the contrast we get here between the base and like his foot, you know. It makes the sculpture more alive because of that contrast. If this was sculpted in clay and this was clay, it just wouldn't have that like material contrast. So that looks really cool. That Okay, that turned out really good. Awesome work, my friend. Now, when you guys finish your pieces, if you can do like a nice video turnaround, that'd be awesome. So we can really appreciate the work that you've done. And if you want to really go above and beyond for extra credit, get yourself one of those rotating base things and get a nice nice little video reel of the finished product. So, because it'd be cool to see, you know, the whole caboose once they're done. So, awesome red ticket, turned out great. Jabez, all finished. Base is very basic. I used clay, which wasn't ideal. At some point, I might get better base building materials and redo it. On the other hand, I might just call it done and learn from my mistakes for the next sculpt. Yeah, that's usually the better move, is to just take your lessons and move forward. And, you know, if you really want to rework a project, start from the beginning and then see how much better the next one is altogether, you know. So really enjoyed this course and love seeing everyone's creations come to life. Edit, okay. I have matte varnished the clothing, however it does look much shinier on the posted images than it does IRL. Okay, let's check it. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look. Ah, yes. Yeah, I see what you're saying with the base. It's just like I said, when the base is made out of mixed media, you could just glue some mixed media on there and it would create that contrast. You know, you use the sculpted base kind of like as like the base of it. But yeah, wow. I like the design of this this tool he's holding. It's kind of like one of those knife shovels that I use in the garden. Awesome. You did such a good job, Jabez. A lot of the supplies I purchase I get from, unfortunately there's not just a one-stop shop for all the things. Amazon gets kind of close, but yeah, it's like a lot of the stuff we use today is just from random different things. Some stuff from thrift stores, some stuff from, you know, from model making shops. You know, like this glue I got from War World Scenics. But yeah, cool. Oh wait, no. Let's take a look at some of the stills here. Look at them eyes. All right, Saladini. I have also started painting the leaves, but I didn't want to get too far ahead so that I can try out all the tips and tricks from the lesson. I've been really loving this amazing community and the new things I learn every time I watch. Saladini. All right. Hey, that's looking really good. It's looking really nice. It's gonna have quite the scene there. This this character, he reminds me a lot of my father-in-law, actually. Funny enough. he looks a lot like him. But yeah, what a cool little story you have going on here. And yeah, I mean, with all the stuff I showed you, you should be able to give that a nice polish off. And of course, it's probably gonna take you guys time to, if you have none of these materials, it's gonna take time to kind of acquire what you need, and that's okay. Just don't feel rushed or anything. Very good, Saladini. Clayton, base is roughed in. Can't wait to put all my foliage to work. The fern is a paper plant from GSW. think that's Green Stuff World. Green Stuff World. Oh, hey, the fern looks nice. The fern looks really good. Clayton's a tease with only giving us one photo. You better, once you get it all done, give us a nice full 360 preview. All right, that's what I want to see. All right, that does look at that. Oh, okay, all right. I will indeed wait, but it's looking really good, man. I can't wait to see what you come up with for the final finish. Toadstool Titan. I finalize my sculpt and I'll be moving on to painting when my energy and free time coincide with each other. Oh, the battle, the endless battle, war of attrition. But it's good. It's good that you're not feeling pressured to try and rush and get it finished, because anytime you ever will rush and finish something, you'll always regret not slowing down and taking time. So that looks really good. The perspective of the way he's looking is totally lined up really well. Let's see. Yeah, this turned out really good. You got such nice shape language on your piece. Like the shape of his pack, I really love. Just the shape of it, you know. That whimsical, like getting really big towards the midsection and then really narrow towards the top. And the really thin ankles, just good. Really, really good. Kind. What kind eyes you have. The mushroom knife. Getting all those macro shots. Awesome. Great work, great work. Alright, Lou. I finished the base for this guy. I'm very happy with the results. It was quite a challenge working with all kind of mixed media. Painting was so much fun. Thank you, Chris, for the great class. I've learned a lot during this process. Let's see here. Ooh. Hey. He's ready to go on an adventure. That's awesome. Oh, you got some good leaf litter going on there. Man, leaf litter, I'm telling you, leaf litter makes a huge difference. Makes something that looks so real. Alright. Is that lit up? The portal? It looks like it's got some light going on the bottom there. Very ethereal looking. Man, that's awesome. Yeah, it's got some lights. Alright, cool. Yeah, I could see that if you would have used some sort of frosted material, the light would have kind of went through it more, but because it's so clear, that's why the light didn't refract a lot. But it still looks nice. The way you did that. Did you pour this like resin yourself? Resin, yeah. Yeah, it looks good. I like the blue going around on the outside. It's nice. All right. Mr. Brightside. Got the base wrapped up, and this guy's pretty much done. I might have some touch-up painting to do, but I'm happy with the way it turned out. what great fun this was. Looking forward to dragons. My official cnotbusch sculpting shirt made a great... oh, yeah, someone did buy a shirt. I was like, oh, who bought a shirt? Made a great backdrop. Okay, let's check it out. All right, a lot of mushroom action. Damn, that looks cool, man. Such your characters are your backgrounds are just as unique as your guys' characters. It's always refreshing to see different styles, and you know this reminds me of like a cave, like deep inside of a like an underground cave area. These mushrooms look really nice. Yeah, with like, see this, how he's got the shale, like the broken shale rocks on the floor. It's totally like a cave setting. All right, there we go. We're at the grand reveal. Awesome. The extra credit points with the slow turning electronic bass. That's a fine specimen indeed. Okay. Wonderful. Mr. Brightside, you did a great job. That is a success. All I'm seeing is just a bunch of successful pieces. So, I know. I guess we're doing something right here, huh? But I'm telling you, if our first class, if I would have decided we're doing like pretty female characters or something like that, we would end up. The results would be maybe we should do it, but maybe we'll do that next time, next class. We're gonna do like super symmetrical, beautiful female characters. We'll end up with a bunch of bog hags by the end of it. There's just certain things in the sculpting world that are just really hard to do. So, and I think it's important to stay away from those things until you get some experience going, because it can be demoralizing when you, I'm speaking from experience, when you set out to sculpt something and it's supposed to be something, but then it's obviously like not looking like that thing at all, can be completely demoralizing, you know? So this type of topic, we can set out to sculpt this. Things can be off or plans can change and it'll still look like what it's supposed to. So I'm seeing a bunch of successful woodland gremlins. So yeah, good job, everybody. Hey, Professor Cena. Okay, Chef Bless. Got a break from school and started sculpting again. Got my beard, eyes, and shirt complete. I just need to do the hat, lantern, and ground them. Okay, and ground them. I get to paint. Okay. I had an issue with the aluminum wires giving out and cracking at the feet, at the feet. So I added in a wire up his butt. Oh, okay, oh boy. I plan on disguising it as a bag of holding that has a rip. Has a rip in it, so a mixture of items and sand are pouring out. Thank you. Oh, okay. That's a clever idea. See, it's easy to have a situation like this happen where you have to improvise, but those situations are really good when they do happen, because you usually learn a lot. So, but yeah, this is looking good. This is looking really nice. I like his beard style. It goes with his face well. All right. Okay, so here's the wire. I'm guessing it's because it was aluminum wire, right? Not steel. That's why there was a problem there. Let's hope the aluminum holds up. You could also, okay, so interesting. So it probably broke from just bending back and forth too many times or something like that. I wonder. But yeah, this, you could totally make a, you could totally make something there. He could even have some sort of a tool or object hanging from his belt that's like dragging on the ground or something. There's all kinds of different ways you can try to cover that up. So good. Very nice. Nice job on the eyes. All right. You're doing well. Keep it up there, Chef Bless. And just a friendly reminder, even though we'll be moving on to dragons next, you guys can still submit your projects from this class moving forward. So don't feel like because we're working on a different project, you can't continue to share your work. You just have to make sure you use the appropriate hashtag so I actually see it. So all submissions for next class will be hashtag. Wait, should we just keep adding on to the weeks, I guess? Hashtag week 16. Yeah, we'll just do that. That's fine. Let's do so. Next time I'm live for class, once you have a submission ready for me to look at, just type in hashtag week 16 on the next post, so that way I can see it. If you like his feedback, edit to add week 15. Okay, let me jump to this. Oh, okay, you did that. All right, good. Thank you, Sherry. Educating the new students. Barbarian. Finally got this boy to the painting stage. Not totally done, but chuffed about where he is. Definitely should have slowed down on some parts, but I need a win to get back in the sculpting swing. That's how it is, man. Yeah, it's looking good. Barbarian. Very unique. A design like that's always funny because you can just kind of set them on like a random shelf throughout the house. All right. Looking good, Barbarian. Can we still get feedback tomorrow? Is it hashtag? Yes. Yes, you can, Barbarian. Week 15, week 3, please provide feedback on if I should bake. I haven't done the cleanup yet. And I left his knobby ankles on. Should I add the ankles later? Okay, let's check out what Rosa's got. Okay, here we go. Please provide feedback on if I should bake. Okay. I haven't done the cleanup yet, and I left his knobby ankles on. Should I add the ankles later? Alright, let's take a look. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, the anatomy of the ankle, the knobby ankle thing. Yeah, I mean, you can leave them on. It looks good. I mean, you might, depending on how you design the shoe, you might not see them. Because, just, depending on your shoe design. Like my guy, you don't see the ankle knobs, but if he had like, if he has like low cut shoes, then you definitely would see them. So it's just something you have to think about, is if you know what kind of shoe design you're going for, then that'll help you make that decision. But either way, you can either leave them and continue, or take them away, continue. If you take them away, then you need to make sure the shoes cover that area. So, yeah. So, leaving them probably just gives you more options. So I would just leave them. But also, you want to think about, okay, if his ankles are exposed, like the skin, then you want to even do skin texture and detail on the ankles and finish that area. So when you later go in and you do the shoe, you know, there's not this space in between that's like not textured. So yeah, anytime you leave, you're gonna decide to leave an area bare, you'll usually fully render that area in that initial build out. So let's say he was a shirtless guy, you would already start texturing and, you know, adding the navel and all that stuff. So but yeah, this looks good. Looks like a good base figure. Let me do one more time here. Yeah. Yeah, it's looking good. I'd definitely say you're ready for baking. It's just a photo. You're on the road. You're doing well. Lots of fun ahead. Once you get, now you get to do all the, get to start doing the fun parts like the shoe design and stuff like that. Welcome to the class, Rosa. Glad to have you here. Okay, we already saw Lou's entry. We'll take a glance at these photos though. They look really nice. Man, what a character. Excellent. Ready for adventure. With his trusty mouse companion and snail, they venture forth into the portal of the unknown. Whatever shall they find? Sherry. Okay. And he is finished. What a great class. With fun and inspiring classmates. And an exceptional teacher / clay wizard. I'm amazed at all the wonderful comments I'm getting about this guy. Cersina, you've made my decade. Alright. The whole decade, huh? Let's take a look. I like his little hat. He's a down to earth countryside guy with that kind of a hat. It's funny, so many of you guys did little animal companions. I even added one. It's not a companion, but the little burrowed creature. Oh man. Awesome. Very good, Sherry. Very good. You did a good job. His man bun is up in there, in the hat. Secretly has a huge hipster man bun hiding in the hat. He seems like doesn't have much hair on top of his head kind of guy. Okay, Barbarian. Several weeks behind. Oh wait, okay, I think we already saw your piece finished. Let's see here. Oh yeah, okay. Oh yeah, you started with the leaf hat. It switched over to a mushroom. No, it's good. You turned out good there, Barbarian. Let me refresh one more time here. Let's see. Okay, there we go. We got some new addition. Kathy. First ever freestanding sculpture. Legs redone 4 times. Broke flimsy aluminum armature on the arms. Sculpey sucks. Sucks bog water compared to the cosplay. Notice cracks and repaired cracks. new surprise every time I bake. But I will persevere. I have the kingdom behind me. So here's the key with fixing cracks. When you're using Sculpey or any other polymer clay that does cause cracks to happen, what I learned when I used to work with that stuff is to ignore the cracks until the piece is done, essentially. And then on the last baking phase, that's when you fix the cracks. Because oftentimes what happens is you fix the cracks or you repair them, and you continue working on it and they just re-emerge or they reappear. And so you're just constantly having to redo that work. So just try to ignore the cracks, and then at the end, fix them. And sometimes fixing cracks with like epoxy clay can be a lot easier than trying to fix them with polymer clay. Just something to consider. But despite all your struggles, you are doing well. And you've already learned some lessons, like maybe using a steel armature next time, and trying to get your hands on some cast clay. So, all right, okay, so you're just past the shoe lesson. Yeah, like see, for example, this one on this fracture that's on the back of the head there. That one doesn't even need to be fixed because it's all going to get covered. This is all going to get covered by layers above it anyways. So yeah. Oh, you're doing good there, Kathy. Keep it up. Embrace the struggle. Remember, if you're struggling, that's a good thing because that means you're learning. Unfortunately, the feeling of learning is also the feeling of struggling. So So try to remember that struggling is a good thing, because that means you're learning. If you're learning, you're growing and you're getting better. Just takes some time. But yeah. All right, I think we got everybody. Okay. Hey, thank you everybody for joining me today. Like I said, 2 weeks off, so we'll be back for the beginning of our new class. Let's see, what day is that? Let me pull up my calendar. Next Sunday is the 30th, so it'll be the 14th of July. So class is back in session the 14th of July. Enjoy your guys' summer break. Yes, yeah, big huge thank you to the benefactor, the individual who sponsored this class. Without them, we would have not been able to make this happen. So big thank you, and thank you everyone for supporting me and my work, so I can do stuff like this. Yeah, we'll wrap it up. Let me find someone to raid, and I actually have, oh, probably turn that, there we go. I actually have a one-on-one lesson to get to, which, just in case anyone didn't know, I do offer one-on-one lessons if anyone's wanting to take things to the next level. That is something that I do. I've been working with a student, Greg. We've been doing one-on-ones and working through projects together. We just started our second project together, me and him, so that's where I'll be heading next. Let's see. Artwork by Andy. Doing some airbrushing. Let's go raid that. I don't know if I've ever raided this person before. Only 7 people there. Should we go give them a big old raid? Yeah. Oh, before before I go, I should probably thank our Dark Tainted. Thank you for the tier 3 sub of 8 months, my friend. Sorry about that. I know I was forgetting something. Yeah, thank you so much, Dark Tainted. That's huge. I appreciate it. Mr. Humble, Mute Maxwell with the 36 months, tier 1. Thank you very much. Or Prime, I should say. And the Bug King with the tier 1, 9 months. Base Sculpting. Now you're speaking my language, he says. Thank you very much. And Senshi coming in with the 42 months there, Senshi. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for Alduin. We'll be sculpting some more Alduin. Okay. Till then, my friends. Bye-bye.